Joining us now, welcome. Or if you do watch the replay after this and you'd like to ask us a question or reach out to us, then please do so in the chat now whilst we're live. Or if you're watching the replay, you can still pop in your comments and we'll be sure to pick it up. So I'm Joyce from Marketing Tech. We're a one-stop shop for affordable mobile apps. My guest for today, Richard Dowman, who's a partner of Eazi Apps, will tell us how his clients from the hospitality business have benefited from the apps that Richard has built for them. So I've worked with Richard since I think 2016. Is that right, Richard?
Yeah, it's been in quite a while now.
It's been a while. Yeah. And Richard is always streets ahead of the rest of us when it comes to business apps for small businesses. So if you're in the audience now, then please do pick Richard's brains and just pop your chat, your question, whatever questions you have in the chat, and we'll try and answer them. So thanks very much again for joining us, Richard.
Thanks for having me.
Would you like to say something or say hello and introduce yourself to
Yeah,
the
hi.
audience?
So my name's Richard Dowman. I've been an Eazi Apps partner for just over 8 years, and it's been very successful. I've done all kinds of different industries, from the hospitality industry that we're going to be talking about today, right through to sports clubs and engineering companies and all sorts of things in between. So today I'm just going to be kind of focusing on the hospitality industry. I'm going to show you 3 different example apps with a few kind of live stats and stuff from the customers and how they benefited from having this product for their business.
Okay, that sounds amazing. So before we lead into Richard's presentation, just want to highlight that business apps, as some of us may know, have many advantages, such as increased productivity. In the case of mobile apps for the engineering construction industry, we covered that in my last LinkedIn Live with one of our colleagues, Neil Greer, as well. We talked about apps for productivity, but also there are other benefits as well, such as repeat visits to your restaurant or your shop, more convenience for the customer, and also more repeat business as well. And I think Richard will be covering some of these benefits in his presentation.
Yeah.
So whenever you're ready, Richard, if you want to share your slides.
On my screen. You can see that okay?
Yeah, let me just put this up. Okay.
Okay, so we're specifically focusing today on the hospitality industry. The 3 that I'm going to be showing you today are basically ordering apps. They do have additional functionality in there, but that's kind of the core of their benefit. So Joyce kind of covered a couple of points there earlier. Why have a mobile app for a business? Well, we're looking to kind of increase brand awareness. We all know how much time people spend on the phones these days, you and me both. So we are putting the brand of that business on your mobile device. And as you know, you can just be sitting quietly in a room looking at your phone, and all, before you know it, you've opened up Amazon or eBay or Facebook just because that logo is there. So we are increasing that brand awareness really effectively by doing that. Increasing customer interaction. Nobody wants to keep going onto a browser, going to Google, searching for a business, finding the website, and then going and making an order. They just want a one-click interaction. So that's driving that element of repeat business. We want to automate and streamline processes to prevent kind of repeating manual tasks. This is pretty much inclusive of all industries, but talking specifically about ordering, we're talking about hiring a person to sit on the phone and just take takeaway orders. That costs money. It's not a great use of their time. So if you can automate those processes, it kind of unlocks a limit on orders. Even if you spend 5 minutes an order, on a phone, that is limiting you to 12 orders an hour, which revenue-wise can be quite restrictive. So we're looking to open that up and automate some of those processes. We're looking to increase marketing capabilities with push notifications and lots of other methods within the app. I've picked push notifications specifically just because they're so powerful. And if you compare them to text message marketing and email marketing and other forms of marketing, The click-through rate of push notifications is very, very high. We can also link those messages very, very simply with one click to specific content within the app. If it is an in-app offer, or we want them to place an order, or we can link them to any URL on the web alternatively. And an important one at the end there, ownership of the content and the customer data. There's, especially in the ordering industry, in the hospitality industry, there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of big players in there already that I'm sure we all know of and probably use, charging large commissions of up to 20% without delivery and up to 45% including delivery. So what we're looking to do is pretty much offer commission-free ordering, that the customer is owning that system. They can go in there and they can change their own items, add new items, change prices, add new images, and they have full control of that system, which is a really, really nice thing to have. So I'm going to go through 3 different apps, and the reason why I've picked these is because there's a little bit of variation in the way that they're set up. The first one is for a small grill or pizza shop, really, kind of local to me where I live in Oundle. This is a very simple delivery for the client. It was a web app solution. So it's not published to the App Store. It's simply downloaded from a QR code on the website or via a link. They can order directly from things like Google Business Profile and other such methods like that. We use a third-party food ordering system for this specifically. This is another thing that I'm just going to talk a little bit about today, the flexibility and the requirements of these kind of ordering systems. If you're in the hospitality industry, then you know that you might have different requirements to a pizza delivery shop. And that might be payment requirements, it might be delivery requirements, it might even be ordering requirements. Like in this case, Barnwell Grill, they wanted to have specific ordering caps per time slot. So they wanted to be able to take, I think, 2 delivery orders every 15 minutes, which really just allowed their kind of small team just to kind of stagger those orders throughout the day. And it just makes the flow of their business much more effective. So in this case, we went out to a third-party integration, which offered that service that I've worked with quite a lot, and it still keeps their costs really low. This solution has an integrated loyalty. Just pretty much pops up, or you earn points as you buy specifically through the app, and then it pops up at the checkout to just pretty much reduce the 10% off the final total. Everything is housed within the app, meaning there's no loyalty interaction points or redemption between the user and the customer, really just allowing the customer just to keep the business going. So I've pulled up a few stats specifically for this solution. They're quite a new one, this one, so they've only been going a few months. But just to show you the last 30 days of analytics within their third-party ordering solution, you can see that they've made a total of about £6,000 in sales, over 200 orders, with the average order value of just under £30. The total sales is 6,112, and the commission on that is essentially the difference. So they're paying about £100 in commission over £6,000 worth of sales there. So it's pretty low. That includes the payment gateway, which is Stripe. So everything is housed with a fee, meaning the customer keeps the vast majority of their profit, which is what we're looking to give to them. So as you can see, the peaks and troughs over the kind of days that they're open and not open, which they can click into on the back end, and they can see a little bit more granular data if they want to.
Now, that's a pretty good stat, Richard, considering it's just been 30 days and it's already selling. The app's already selling.
Absolutely. I mean, they've been live now about 3 months, I think, something like that. And this is pretty consistent. The way they promoted it is pretty simple. It's through Facebook. It's through their website, which already had a decent amount of traffic. So they have a pop-up on the website with a QR code just to scan and download the the web app,
Okay.
and then they can essentially install that web app to home screen of their phone, which is kind of puts it into an app-like shell, just like if you're downloading it from the App Store. So it's quite effective there.
That's fantastic. Would you be telling us about the PWA, the difference between a web app and the native app
Yeah,
solution?
absolutely. So a native app essentially is something that we all know. So that is what gets published up to the App Store. There's a little bit more work from our side that goes into that, but it's the sort of premium solution that we offer. Generally, they have every single functionality that we have available to them if they go with a native solution. And the main things that they're going to get is the fully elevated kind of push notification marketing, which is obviously very effective. But in this scenario, it was all about ordering and loyalty. So he wasn't massively, I mean, for the price point that he was looking at, he wasn't overly obsessed with the sort of marketing side. He said, look, I want to streamline those processes in my business. We looked at that same kind of limitation of 5 minutes an order, limiting to 12 orders per hour. And, if we go on this average order value, we're pretty much looking at £350 maximum orders per hour, essentially. So
That's pretty good, yeah. For a local establishment, that's really good results there. And
Yeah,
would you like to tell us what this loyalty is about? Is it tied to purchase?
exactly. So with this particular solution that we've done for this business, it's all tied into the purchasing on the app specifically. So if you order through the app, you can redeem loyalty points. Now, it's up to the customer really how they set both the how the points are awarded and what you can redeem it on, and that can be really granular, right from you get a point every £10, right down to if you buy the pizza deal, then you get a point. So you can really customize all of that. And then on the kind of redemption side, again, it could be as simple as you get a £5 off voucher, or it could say it could reduce any pizzas by 20%, or you get buy one get one free pizza or something like that. So it's very granular, very, very automated as well, and very simple for the user.
Yeah, no, that's great. So the business owner get to decide what each point is worth in terms of money, and also decide what rewards they want the customers to redeem,
Yeah,
and so on. So really flexible customer loyalty program there.
absolutely. And also the partner that I work with on this particular third-party solution gives them direct support through live chat between 7 a.m. and 11 p.m. at night. So it allows them to go through if there's any issues, or if they want to change anything on the menu, they can kind of get that done very, very quickly without even coming through me.
Okay.
I've got a couple of other stats on this particular client as well, just so they can see their top products. So they can actually see various different styles here, and the top products there. So lots of chips, large chips, 2 pizza deals, and the breakdown of each one of those. And they can see the fulfillment type as well. So the vast majority of that, 92.9%, I think that says, being the delivery side, and then just 15% on collection. And we can also see a breakdown of the ASAP orders, or if people are actually pre-ordering, a couple of days in advance. So again, it's mostly kind of ASAP or time slots on the same day.
So the time slots, Richard, are in time slots of 30. If they do a click and collect, is it 30 minutes or 10
They can
minutes?
customize that. So I think the
Okay.
click and collect, the smallest slot, I believe, is 15 minutes.
Okay.
So you
Okay.
can set it to be 2 or 4 collection orders every 15 minutes, and you can actually modify those individually for delivery and collection as well if you want to.
Okay. Yeah, that's really flexible.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Shall I move on?
Yeah. No, that's fine. It's great.
Perfect.
I'll stop you when I do have a question.
Yeah, sure. I did just have one more stat here where you can see an actual delivery heat map. So you can see your kind of main areas that you're selling to here, and you can zoom right in and get an idea of your top selling areas of the town, or as you can see, a couple of different towns here. Okay, so the next one is the rustic kitchen. Slightly different setup here. This is a native app. So this is one that has been published to both Apple and Google Play for Android and can be downloaded directly to your device. This one really focuses, again, on a third-party integration for both click and collect and table. So in the same way, you can integrate pretty much any system that you've already got or any that you want to use, depending on your requirements. This one really focuses on kind of high volume, so they've got a lot of downloads, great promotion, and they focus on the marketing with the push notifications to drive that additional traffic to things like events or particular offers that they're running. So with this one, I've just pulled up some kind of advanced stats from the main Eazi Apps platform here. So I've done it from kind of when they started there, kind of nearly halfway through 2021. And you can see the kind of increase there going to the end of 2021, which is about here. And they kind of, so over 12 months, they went pretty much from 0 to 3,000 downloads, again, with lots of promotion via things like social media. They're quite active there. And they're kind of now at a total number of installs now of 6,082.
That's pretty good, yeah.
So 60,000 individual visits to the app. So that is made up of maybe each of the 6,000 users coming to the app 10 times, for example. And out of these 6,082 total users, we've got a total active installs of 3,692. So what that means is we have 3,700 of the 6,000 have the push notifications enabled. So these are really, these active installs are the ones that we are marketing directly to. So with this one, you can see a little bit more of a breakdown on the particular features. So we can see it's quite leaning towards ordering and booking and events. A couple of different events features in there, kind of local street food events and things like that, and one for images as well. Now, the great thing about having a native app is that on the management side, it's actually a lot easier because we do offer a kind of back-end content management system where any client can go in and make changes to their own app. And I normally provide kind of tutorial videos and stuff to help that nurturing process and learning process at the beginning. However, we also have a feature for the app manager. And the app manager on native app specifically allows the business owner to go in there and make certain updates to their app. So this is things like they can go to the events feature and they can add a new event directly from their mobile. So they don't even need to log in. They can go into things like images. If they've got a nice event, they can go into their app manager, take a few pictures out in the restaurant and then upload them straight to the app via the app manager. The other key thing is being able to send out push notifications. And that is really just a 30-second job. When you're on the app manager, you've got lots of different flexibility for who you send it to, when you send it, what you send. You can send pretty much as much descriptive content as you want because they're expandable within the feature. You can add images. You can, as I said before, you can link to specific features within the app or content on the web. You can send to iOS, Android, or both. You can also send to specific user groups that might have subscribed to in-house offers or events, updates and things like that, so that you can get quite granular with that kind of stuff. But again, I normally give the customer a little bit of a tutorial via video when they are first kind of signing up.
Yeah, that's good. I think just want to highlight that the app manager that you mentioned, Richard, that really is very convenient for whoever's managing the app to just upload images, as you mentioned, upload events, and also send out push notifications just from the app without having to go back to the office, sit down and look at the laptop, log into the dashboard, and then make the changes. So you can do it on your phone wherever, and that's really, really convenient, isn't it?
Absolutely. I've seen quite a few of my customers actually sending out Valentine's push notifications and stuff over the last couple of days, which is obviously just going to increase their bookings and increase their traffic and their sales.
Mm-hmm.
So the final one that I wanted to kind of pull up here is called the Butcheress. Slightly different in the way it's set up again. Um, this is once again a native solution, so it's on Apple and Android. This time, the product ordering. I haven't put kind of food ordering because it's slightly different. Being a butcher's, they do meat boxes and things like that that they deliver most of the time. So this is a native product ordering and order management system directly through the application. So they have an order now button within the app that's built into the system. The customer has a little bit like the app manager. They have something called essentially I've called it the food manager. So they can go into that food management feature and they can manage all of their orders directly through there. So this is all connected up to a kind of almost like a POS printer, point of sale printer. So the order is placed via the app. The order goes to the management feature and also comes out the printer. Now, as soon as the business owner goes and collects that ticket receipt off the printer, they can accept or reject the order via the printer. That then sends a notification to the user that the order status has been updated with a delivery time, if applicable. In this case, I think she just does a 24-hour kind of general delivery. But once that order is accepted, it then updates the app status and they can then process that order really effectively. The stats can then be easily downloaded anytime via CSV from the back end of the app platform. It's really, really effective. It's working really, really nicely for the client. Again, like the first case study that I showed you, this has an integrated loyalty, perhaps not as granular as the first option, but basically this is set up so that every time the customer or the end user spends £10 within the ordering system, they automatically get awarded a loyalty point on their card. I think when they get to 10 loyalty points on the card, they get a free pack of sausages.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, Richard, just a question there. So, you mentioned food printer. So, this is connected to the food printer for the orders. So, if the business owner does not want to purchase the hardware, are they able to still use this feature?
Absolutely. So if they're not using the hardware, and the hardware is somewhere around £150 kind of connected and set up, then they can just use their mobile app. So they can literally, as the business owner, we can set them in the kind of the food management feature. We can set them to be the owner when they've created an account. So all that they have to do is open up their app, scroll down to the food management feature, open it up, and then they can accept or reject the orders directly from their app as the business owner. So there's two solutions. This particular client actually started out that way, and then they tried the printer out, and they said they were much happier with the printing solution. But yeah, absolutely, if they want to have it on a tablet or something, then that is, of course, an option.
Yeah, which is a better solution, you think, Richard? I mean, if for a busy, say, for example, a busy restaurant, they might want to look at this feature. What do you think?
I would have to say the third party that I had a collaboration with, only because we offer this particular feature as one of 60. And what we're doing with the third party is we're going to a specialist in that particular feature. So they put all their development, all their time, all their money into that one feature, where we're developing a rounded resource, including the push notifications, a booking system, ordering, one-touch calling, maps, and everything else that we offer. So it depends. I always treat it on a customer by customer basis. I would consult with the customer. I would see exactly what their particular requirement is going to be, and then I would pretty much just offer them the best fit. Commission is this is completely commission free, other than the payment gateway. So that if that is an issue, then this would be what I'd go to. If the flexibility of things like time slot ordering and things like that, maybe they have to have Apple and Google Pay, then I would go to that third party, where they pay very, very small commission, and they get that function and integrate it.
So, as a customer, I suppose there are two options. So, one is to use our native app feature, which also has this food ordering feature, or the third-party solution which you are using, or you talked about earlier, which
Mhm.
can be easily integrated into our app platform, if that makes sense for everyone. So, it really depends on what you're looking for, right? So, if you're
Yeah,
looking for, say, click and collect with time slots, then you would then refer customers to the third party solution, which is, I suppose, more comprehensive.
yeah. So what I normally do is because I have a quite a good relationship with a lot of these particular ordering services,
Hmm.
so I can normally get a little bit of a preferential price. So what I normally do is I set them up on their behalf, but really it is down to the individual situation. Um,
Hmm.
there's so many different ones out there, and I think that's part of the experience that we have as app developers is we know what solutions are going to work in what scenarios. Otherwise, as a consumer, you go right. I need an ordering system, and you go and look out on Google, and it's just full with different options, and you think, right, what's the best price?
Hmm.
That's normally your first
Yeah.
call. Not necessarily the best solution. So actually knowing the ins and outs of these different solutions for you is what makes us good at what we do, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. And I also want to highlight that. I think that's what Easy Apps does best as well. One of the things is to explore off the shelf software that's already available on the market. And we don't necessarily always have to build everything from scratch. So we try to keep costs affordable and just explore whatever software does the job, and we will integrate that software. Is
Yeah.
that, yeah?
Yeah,
Is that right?
absolutely, absolutely. Integration can be quite a complex thing. I think anything that works on the web, we can have in our apps. That's generally the way I phrase it to make it nice and
Hmm.
simple.
Yeah.
Um, I'm going to show you a couple of stats on this to
Okay.
show you the benefits. He's talked about keeping costs down. We do offer solutions that are way more affordable than something that is custom coded, and we build it through a pre-coded modular system, which allows us to keep those costs down. The last point I've got here is just powerful marketing. And I wanted to show you a couple of stats from the Butcheress, particularly similar to what I did with the Rustic Kitchen, but I've also got some push notification stats for you on this, just to show you an example of return on investment really here. So you can see with this app, they've got about 35,000 total visits to the app, slightly smaller in the total installs. They've got 1,900, and they've got 1,386 active installs, which again are the ones that we're marketing to, the ones that have got the push notifications enabled. So you see how this one's kind of grown from August 21 up to here. So it's been pretty steady most of the time again.
Hmm.
But if we go through to the next slide, we can have a look at some of that push notification. Now, there's obviously been a lot of push notifications sent out. So I've just kind of taken a little snippet of some of these just to give you a little bit of a snapshot.
Yeah.
Just looking at the top 5, really, you can see that there's a couple of them that had much lower delivery, just to because I was renewing the Apple push notification certificate there. So you see
Hmm.
that they haven't got 100% delivery. So if we just look at the 100% delivery
Hmm.
options in these ones, we
Yeah.
can see the top one here. We've got 15,000 devices sending the message to. It's gone out to 1,500. Sorry, it's gone out to 1,500 devices. We've got 248 click-throughs with an open rate of 16%. The second one, pretty similar, 1,500, open rate of 21. And then these two down here, slightly higher open rate, again, going out to about 1,500 with a 27% and 31% click-through rate. So you can see, for example, check out this weekend's meat box. She's gone on there. The lady goes on there and puts all her own products and categories and stuff on there. So she's probably done a kind of weekend offer there. And if we've got a 20% click through, so we've got 400 people. If
Hmm.
our average price is around £50, something like that, for an order on here, if we're even getting 50% of that 400 coming through and purchasing that offer, we've got 200 people spending £50. You can do the maths there. There's some really
Yeah,
good
I mean, definitely. There's a
tools there.
direct link to the purchases that you see each time you send out a push notification, isn't it? You see a
100%.
increase. So and what would you advise, Richard, in terms of setting up push notifications? I mean, how often is a good
That's a really good
frequency?
question. As I mentioned before, we have quite a lot of options in terms of how we send the message. So there is another feature where you can give the user the ability to choose. I want to hear about offers or events or discounts or things like that. And that could be if you've got multiple sites. You could hear about one particular site or another. It could be by area, could be by age group. There's a lot of application to it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're using a system like that within your mobile app, then you can afford to send more, because you might be sending the first message out as an offer to those who have subscribed to offers. Then the same day, you might be sending one out for an upcoming event to people who subscribe to events. And there's no crossover there.
Yeah.
So I think if we're just talking about general push notifications that we're sending out offers to the user base, I think a maximum of one per week, I think is a good one. Probably once every couple of weeks. And I should always make them incentivized, because that's what drives the traffic. It's very easy to get caught up, I'll just ping a message out because it takes 20 or 30 seconds to do so. Whereas if it's not incentivized, it's not effective, people can go into settings and turn their notifications off for the app. So I always just try and say one every week, one every couple of weeks, incentivize them. I think that's the sweet spot in my experience.
Yeah, not more than that, I suppose. And then plus you have the other push notifications you mentioned, which are part of the funnel, isn't it? It's triggered off by transactions. Am I right? Yeah.
So I was talking about the topics feature. So this
Yeah.
allows you to basically send to different user subscriptions.
Yeah.
The user can go on at any time, toggle on and off whichever subscriptions they want. Again, there is another feature called Marketing Funnel. This allows us to set up a series. It could be 5, 10, or 50. A series of automated push notification based on trigger. So when the user makes the first purchase, or redeems their first loyalty, or even just signs up for the app the very first time, it could trigger that series of messages. And they could be going out one every 3 days or 5 days, or you can set the frequency. But they're a kind of fire and forget system where you can keep pinging to the user and keep getting them to come back and explore more areas of the app or other offers.
Yeah, I think these are really super powerful features. The ability to, giving power back to the customer to choose what sort of messages they want to be getting. I think this is really powerful first party data that we're able to collect as business owners. And I'm really excited about that too. And also the funnel itself, which I haven't seen with many apps on the market. So I think that's great.
So I've just used it with one of my new apps actually. And it's really good, really effective, and it takes away a lot of that day-to-day need for the customer to do it.
Yeah, definitely. Do you want to wrap up now, Richard? Or
Yes. So that was me really.
Okay.
I hope you enjoyed those kind of bits of information on the
it's
apps.
really, really good. Thank you. Yeah,
I've
thanks
just
for
put my
that.
business card there. If you're interested in just getting in touch at all, you can give that QR code there a scan, and you can just add me as a V card straight into your phone there.
Okay. Let that dwell for a second or two, and then I'm just conclude here. Yeah, thank you very much. So we've come to the end now. If as I said, I think if anyone has any questions, you can still pop questions into the chat, as it's Valentine's Day today. So maybe we're not going to get that many visitors today, but that we usually get more views in the replays. So thank you very much again, Richard, for joining us. Is there anything you want to add before we finish up?
If you get me talking about apps, I can sit here all day, but I know you're on a time limit. So
yes,
thank you very much for having me, and it was nice to obviously share that information with you guys.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to ask you to stay on for a minute after this while we switch off the stream. So thanks for watching, everyone.